All right, I'll call this meeting to order at 6:55. All right, stand for pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Let's do a roll call.
Katie Duncan, present. Sharon Spears, present.
Josh Hawkins present.
Jason Leibowitz, present.
Lori Easton, present.
All right. I'll entertain a motion to approve June 5th minutes.
Okay.
I'll make a motion, we approve the minutes for June the 5th, 2025.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We can do that.
I was gonna ask if we had to do it.
Nobody's on Zoom.
Right,
Yeah.
Voting people.
Are we,
Right.
is this actually a hearing for the building permit fees? Or are we
No.
just in discussion? Okay.
no, we're just gonna discuss it and then,
And then
I
next
will
time,
schedule a
special meetings.
special meeting at sometime later this month.
I thought somewhere we're having a special meeting on the 17th. If we see.
Okay, yeah, well, now I haven't made my, I didn't get all my stuff that I needed to be able to, in time to be able to schedule that special meeting in public hearing, because you have to have 10 days and actually have time to do the thing, you know.
All right. So, under old business, building permit fees, discuss regarding new fees for building permit fees.
So these are the current fees.
The ones on the second page.
The ones on the, yes, the second page. And then these are proposed and new ones. Yeah, that's, yes. And the required, things that go with them. These are the suggested. And Pam and I spoke about this before, or today, earlier, you know. If these are gonna cover everything, and, or some of it's too much, or we thought, you know, some of them might be too much, or.
My biggest thing is always been as long as we're not losing money. I think that's been what everybody's thing is.
Yes,
So-
right.
So if these fees equate to where we're not losing money on, you know, inspections, people look at site plans, I'm for whatever. These fees are, they lose the whole.
Now, Josh, what do you think about this, single family and two family dwelling addition?
That's where.
Does that seem like a lot or no? So now keep in mind that on these, current fees, we have the, review, 450.
Are you talking about the remodel and basement finish one? Residential?
Yeah, the very first one.
I do not think it is, because at $500 plus 10 cents per square foot,
No, that's,
that's a residential remodel basement finish permit.
Continued. It carries over.
Or am I under the wrong? No, that's electrical inspection.
Sorry. Carries over.
oh, okay. No, this is just the residential right here.
All right, so you're.
Oh, the residential permit right here.
Yeah.
No, I don't think it's out of line, because you're at 7 inspections, so they're out there at 7 different,
Oh, okay.
so
All right.
they're out there 7 different times, so I don't think that's out of line at all. Because you're at $250, I think, an hour for them. So they're saying they're gonna do it for this, I believe.
No, that's not their cost, but I'm just, it's $1,000 seems like a lot, but
It's not.
if you go to $250 per hour of, review stuff or,
Right. No, I don't see it being out of line, because if you get on
I
and
know.
go to a lot of these other towns and stuff and look at some of their stuff, I know that's not out of line. At $1,000 plus 10 cents per square foot,
So
so.
what exactly is included in a,
What's inspections?
addition? Like, I mean, what if somebody just wanted to build a shack on the side of their house?
Well, it's in the,
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like something that's not that extravagant.
but what if it is? Then
They
what if
still
somebody
need-
wanted to extend their kitchen.
I mean, it doesn't matter if you add on a sunroom, you still have the different, you got the footers, you still got your rough ends, you still have roof line, all that stuff. So you've got the different inspections no matter what. The thing it is that you're gonna save on is your 10 cents a square foot. So,
Okay,
so no, I do not feel it's out of line by any means.
inspections, okay.
I was just talking to somebody the other day about building permits, and they said somewhere it cost them almost $2,500 just for a house permit
To build them?
to build.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying 1,000
For an addition.
for additions is not out of line by any means.
In the inspect the residential electric only, I mean, I think that's fair.
Yeah, I mean,
Now, this does not, these totals do not include application fees. Because there's also an application fee that's not, where's that part? Where's that application fee that goes towards inspections? What's that?
It's not really an application fee, it's a review fee. Is that correct? That's what we currently have in place.
Right, well, it's an application fee that includes the review, so that you're recouping some of those costs before the permit is issued.
It includes 3 hours of review.
Up to 3 hours of the structural review, the site plan review, and,
And that's the 250, the 300, and the 450 on the
yes.
application fees. You're right, Jason, that's what they call it.
Okay.
Okay, so now my question, I'm not sure, Jason, how to answer your question. I don't know if that replaces that or not.
places which part.
Like, so just for example, the residential remodel, basement finish permit. That's on the 3rd page, I
Yep.
believe. Does the permit and review fee $500 plus 10 cents per square foot?
I don't know, that's a question for Shannon.
Shannon, can you answer that question? Is that,
Sure, what's the question?
okay, so the question is, does the permit and review fee replace our current application fee? Or is that in addition to?
It replaces. The application fee would be included in as part of the permit fee.
Okay, so therefore it's like you're collecting this up here up front, and then if they get approved, then you're collecting the rest. Is that correct, Shannon? Am I understanding that
Okay.
right?
No,
That-
so let's say, for example, on the residential remodel basement finish, okay? The permit and review fee would be $500 plus 10 cents per square foot. And that would include the issued permit, the review for the permit, and the application fee. There would be no other additional fees.
But we have a application fee so that we're collecting money up front. So that way, if you deny it, or they decide not to go all the way through with it, we're collecting some money to recoup some of that cost. So we're just saying that remodel home / basement finish, we collect $250 when they give us the application, or you're saying we collecting the $500 up front. So if they
Anyway,
decide-
you should be collecting the permit fee, the total permit fee up front. What you could do in lieu of the application fee, say 50% of whatever the permit and review fee is the application fee, like a deposit.
Okay.
And you're with your new software program, you should be able to do that, implement that in there.
Okay,
So basically, we'd have to go back and redo the application fee, where it would be a percentage of that.
okay, but now my question is, so this would, Shannon, this would cover your cost as the building inspector and construction plan reviews, correct?
Not,
Basically,
not as far as the R fee, no. Because we would still, I mean, if it takes 2 hours to do a rough-in inspection, then we have our hourly rate.
right, okay,
So the potential to lose money on it still there.
it's still there unless we keep the application fees.
Which it would be fine too. You could add that in. Is it a certain, your application fee, a certain percentage or a set amount based on the type of job that it is?
Yes, so here's what ours is. A new single family or two family home is a $450 application fee. In addition to a single family or two family home is $300.
Okay,
And-
so you can just add that into this fee.
What's that?
Add your application fee in to this fee.
Yes, so right now, it's separate. We have an application fee. So that is a fee that you pay when you submit it. And then if somebody decides they don't want to go through the hassle of doing it, we get to keep that money because we're paying out that money to somebody to look at it.
Absolutely.
So that's the reason why there's an application fee. So that's what we was wondering is, on this application fee, is that something that is, replaces part of it? So like say if they moved forward, would we just say that the application fee applies to the actual whole for what you're suggesting we change it to?
You could add that verbiage in there, yes.
Okay.
So just remember, keep in mind that in addition to the construction review, we also have a plan review by co-contractors, and we have to cover those costs as well. You see what I'm saying?
So, right, so I think for us to really look and understand this is we need to know what everybody's hourly price is, what an average inspection time is, what Deb's average time is to review, so we know what we're paying out. If we don't know what we're paying out, we don't know what we're covering.
It all depends on the project.
I said average. So that way we know on an average we're covered. There's going to be some wins, there's going to be some losses. I understand that, but we need to make sure when we're doing this, that we're not shorting ourselves from the get-go.
Okay, the building inspector costs $125 an hour, is that correct?
I'm sorry, say that again.
Building inspector, you guys have made these permit fees to kind of cover your costs.
Correct.
You guys put it in here,
It
correct?
should. It should. I mean, an inspection shouldn't take 2 hours, but I'm saying it could. We try to keep, I mean, these are still low fees for these type of jobs compared to other jurisdictions.
Right,
We didn't want to raise it too exponentially, just to keep people, from being like a sticker shock.
Well, for me to decide, for me to decide personally on this application fee, if it should apply to to be included on top of this, or if it should be deducted from this. That's
I
what I
think it
wanted
should
to
be
know.
on top
I agree.
Okay, and that's what I'm looking for is where does everybody think we stand
of,
on
because
that?
that application fee covers, your site plan review, your structural review, also the time needed to schedule inspections, file things away, make copies. It's more than just dispense an inspector to go check it
Right.
and things like that.
And then in transition, the actual permit fees potentially could cover the inspection. costs.
Yes.
Okay, that's what I was looking for. I wanted to know where the numbers are.
I know that it seems extremely high, but like I said. we
Oh, I
can't
don't think it is at all. I do, believe me, these are not high from a lot of things that I've seen out there, so.
And they absolutely are not. They're still way below what other jurisdictions, even your size, are charging.
So,
And understand also the 10 cents per square foot is of the job, not like the whole entire house.
right, that's how I took it, was.
Yes.
It was
I just wanted to clarify that.
per building, so. All right. You guys have any more questions? Oh, do you want, I did know if we answered it or not, because you didn't say anything. Go ahead.
Just so Shannon knows,
State your name, please.
Shane Childress, 25 West Oak Street, Jamestown,
Yes.
46147. Just so the commission knows, Shannon knows, I already know Deb knows this. The reason this is before the commission is because Lori had sent out a paper previously, and we are spending tens of thousands of dollars because I wanted to build something and I submitted my paperwork. Deb has reviewed it. She has sent it to you for your review and sends it back to me and says I need to fix A, B, and C. And then I said on that, and I fixed A, B, and C to what I think is fixed. I resubmit it to Deb. Now Deb is on round 2 of review. She sends it to you. You are on round 2 of review. So at a minimum, I'm at 100, 200, 300, 400. I'm at 500. The town is 500 deep right now. And I get mad. And I say, screw you, and then I never move forward. Now, we had $500 in this because we paid our outsourced labor. And nothing ever happens with that. And that happens over and over and over to thousands of dollars. So it's important for the commission to pay close attention, and I do not want to cause more work. I would not like to see you cause more work on the girls in the office by charge this, refund to here. Please think of your paper trail that you could be causing the girls in the office. But yes, the idea of this was to protect the town from losing so much money, because I'm not sure. How many times do you think that happened this year, Deb? Already.
Half dozen.
Already. And we're starting our 7th month, so 1 a month. And sometimes you get into bigger projects, and Deb is got a couple 3 hours, and you may have a couple 3 hours. And then that price just tripled on what we would normally have. But I just want to point out to the commission that this has been and both of our contractors, this has been a severe issue for the town of Jamestown. And it has been a losing cause. And our fees were low. I do not want to charge people more than they need to be charged, but I don't want the town to lose money on it either.
And keep in mind that this, like, we don't have a separate fund for building permits, like where we get money in and pay it out. This is coming out of the general fund. This is coming out of our citizens' taxpayers' money.
Now, will you set a line item up for when this stuff is coming in and out? Or are you just using the program to?
I'm just keeping things the same right now. I mean, if I feel like I need a building permit if I can find that I'm covering my costs, then I can't make a whole thing, but if I'm not covering the costs, I need that general fund money.
Did you
What I
set
see
a
in
non-reverting fund?
What's that mean?
means-
I've never had to do that before,
Okay,
so I've heard.
basically, it's a separate line item and fund where all the permit fees go into it and you pay your contractors out of it, and then you exactly know how much is there.
Yes, exactly, and I still keep track, I know how much we spend
Right,
out.
right.
and
That's
They have
my
their
question.
own line item, expense
That,
items.
that's what my question is, so that way, maybe in a year, we can come back and review this before we get too deep into the housing issue? Or anything like that, if we start seeing
Yeah,
that.
so all my funds like that are non-reverting, I call them home funds or whatever. You know what I mean, I guess
Yeah.
they're non-reverting, but yeah, I know what you're saying.
Well, the nice thing about.
But let me just say that if you are paying stuff out of that fund and you're losing money,
Then there's.
you can't get that money from some other fund.
Right, right. You're exactly right. I was gonna say, the nice thing about the new home development is that all those lots will be platted, the easements are shown. There's no guesswork, because when it's random lots outside of a subdivision, folks don't have a survey, and we're kind of guessing where those easements are. And
Right.
it's a call to Josh, it's a, measuring online, and there's a lot of guesswork, so.
And luckily with the new subdivision, with the GIS mapping stuff, they have to give me that file so I can add it into GIS.
Yes,
So
they
we
do.
will actually have all the lots and everything. We don't have to worry about Boone County finally, if we can ever give them to give us the information we need to add. That's the issue.
Don't get me started.
So we started down that road and we hit a brick wall, so to get what we needed to add it into our GIS, so.
Okay, so I think that the residential electric only permit is fair and okay. Those usually go right, quickly. Those usually don't. What usually has to happen with those, Deb?
You just make sure the name and address are correct, because there's no review involved.
Okay, and, then the inspection, it will cover, the fee. The building inspector fee, because they do need an inspection and put a sticker on it. The in-ground pools, plot plan and HOA approval letter if it's in the subdivision.
Can you hear the meeting?
Huh?
in the room.
I'm trying to connect Dave to the meeting. Just a second. I'm sorry. I thought I was muted.
So the in-ground pool I am fine with because there is reviews that's gotta go over it. The above ground pool is only $75 just to make sure it's not easement, correct?
Yes.
Just make sure it's not going to.
It's not in an easement.
It's not in the easement and not on somebody else's property.
Well, that's with regard to the site plan review. Now, structurally, they may be checking where's the electricity for any pumps and how is that being handled. There still may be a,
On the above ground, we did not care on that part. So
Okay.
we just wanted to make sure. Now, the in-ground, yes, that is all part of that because
Yes.
you're also looking at structure and everything else that goes along with it.
yep.
So,
Yes.
because that one is.
Did Dave have something to say?
So an above ground pool is not considered a permanent structure, which is why it doesn't require everything that a permanent structure would.
Right.
Okay, so now if you noticed before, we did in our little, what's required and what's not required, like, it was required, other stuff was required for pools, I believe. Yeah, we had to have a whole bunch of stuff for those. Before I did, yeah. But we just need a site plan now and we just have to verify that they're not in our easement and not on somebody else's property. Okay,
There it is.
the next one is above ground, let's see, okay, the next one is demolition permit. Is Dave on here now?
I think so. I think that's him that just hopped on.
Well, he's muted.
Okay, I'll let him know. Just a second.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yes.
Now.
Okay, I have a question for you, Dave, if you can answer it.
I will do my best.
What kind of inspection is, included in the, demo permit?
You have there's two of them that you're looking for. You're making sure all the utilities are capped off, water, sewer, gas, if applicable. And then you're making sure that they're not burying anything within that demo area. In other words, if it has a crawl space or a basement, you don't want them putting everything into that and burying it. That's why I said it needs to be inspected before they backfill and grade and final grade, so we can make sure they're not burying trash or debris in there.
Okay, so currently our current process is that Josh goes out and inspects the utilities being capped off and all that.
I make sure that they cap off the sewer. That is part of the, in that ordinance for them is to do the inspections on that to make sure that they've capped it off and prove it. The water side of things, once we shut the meter off, it really doesn't matter if they cap that side or not. We've shut it off. So, but I understand what your meaning is to make sure that they're, if they demo a house or whatever, that they're not just burying it on the spot and it's somebody else's problem later on.
Right. And the capping of the utilities, I pulled off of your Jamestown's requirements for a demo permit that was only $10.
Oh,
That-
absolutely, but
that-
Josh,
that's where
Josh is the one that goes and inspects that.
That's why I pulled it off of there and put it in there.
Okay, no, I mean, if you're coming out and that's $175 permit, if they're coming out, they're still paying $5 to come out, so I don't see an issue with it.
And then you would not inspect the utilities?
No, I still inspect the utilities because
Okay.
that is part of it, so.
Okay, so you're good with that, Josh?
Yeah.
Okay.
You guys, when I put this together because Shane called me and said, Dave, you are our building inspector. Okay. So part of that are demo permits and other permits that I was anticipating on inspecting. Now, if you want to continue to do it, I'm not telling you that I have to do it. It's just, I put it together as a building inspector going out there inspecting these permits. Does that make sense?
No, I understand. So I really, unless anybody else has got an issue with any of these fees, I mean, I've not seen anything that I have an issue with.
Okay, now my next one is a residential accessory structure permit. So,
Carries over to the other.
yeah, there's 50 square feet or less.
Okay. That's typically going to be a pre-built drop on the ground shed, which unless they're running electric, there's nothing really to look at. This was part of the conversations you guys were having before, where the inspector was telling him he needed to have a foundation. you still want to know, that's why I put in there, you're required to submit a plot plan on where it's going so we can review to make sure they're not in the right of way or encroaching on the
Neighbors.
setbacks. And there's nothing for me to go out there and inspect. I mean, if you want me to, I can, but I'm not trying to nickel and dime Jamestown to death here. We're
No.
trying to make you guys money.
Well, okay, so, 50. So currently, Dave, our, UDO is, anything over 120, or anything under 120 square feet, requires a permit.
Does not.
That does not require a permit. So do you think, in your professional opinion, do you think we should change that?
Hang on just a second. You said under or nothing at 120 square feet?
Right, anything under 120 square feet.
You know, that's 30 foot by 30 foot by 30 foot by 30 foot. That's a big building.
No, just 120 square feet. So that's a 10 by 12 for the shed. Talking about sheds that are 120 square feet. Anything 120 square feet down does not require a full one. Just the review, $75 is the way ours is now.
That's just to cover the site plan review and make sure they're putting it where they say they're putting it.
Same as.
Okay, maybe I'm dumb. Typically measuring the square footage, and maybe I'm wrong on how to do this, but you measure your outside and multiply that by 4, and that gives you your square footage.
No, it's length times width.
You're
It's
talking.
Yeah, cubic feet is what you're talking about.
Okay. Okay. I probably should have been at this meeting with you guys. Instead of trying to answer these questions like this. We can revisit this one, your accessory structure.
No, I can't. I want to get these adopted.
We have to get moving on some of these things because we want to have one hearing over it all. And we've got a timeline, we got to get the hearing done by, so it's in place before they start building.
Before the end of this month, and with the publishing requirements and stuff to have a public meeting and everything, I'm cutting it close to the time.
Okay.
That's why I asked for the stuff like first, so that I could give it to Deb, and I was hoping she would be able to get me the notice quickly. I was gonna beg for that, but, yeah, so my recommendation is that, anything under 120 square feet, we just have the $75 review, the plot plan, or, plot plan, so that, we can make sure it's not in our easement and not in our, in the neighbor's property. That's what I feel.
Right, so basically, what you need to do is, we need to change where it says sheds equal to 120 square feet, need to be 121, which would be over the 120. And that fixes that issue.
So this needs to be 120 or less, correct?
Yes.
And this needs to be
Greater than.
120,
Or greater.
Just greater than 120.
okay. Now, Dave, I have a question for you. Do you
Okay.
think, or is it a requirement that a 200 square foot shed would have to have a foundation? Because any building code requires that anything 200 square feet have a footer and foundation and all that.
That, right. And we've discussed this several times, and 200 square feet does not require a foundation. Footings, foundation, 200 square foot does not require.
This means it falls under the residential building code. Correct?
A shed?
Any structure 200 square feet or larger. That's been my understanding from the inspectors I've worked with in the past. Is that's kind of the threshold as to now what code are you judging it by?
By manufacturer specifications.
Exactly. That's what I go off of, is a shed, 200 square feet, is installed per manufactured specifications, especially if it's pre-built.
Because that is engineer stamped, correct? If
I'm
it's
sorry?
This to tie it down.
Right, if it's not all have engineered stamps, but as long as it has an engineered stamp that that's the manufacturer's engineer to do, then yes. But if it does not, because not all Amish buildings have got stamps. So that's where you're on that fine line on that part. As long as it's got an engineered stamp, I am fine with it.
And we'll know that right after.
Yes,
Okay, all
that's
right,
gotta be
sounds good.
submitted. When they submit their plan for it, they should be submitting back.
You get paid more.
That's correct. They need to submit the specifications on how they're going to be installing it.
Okay, that sounds great. Okay, so now, Dave, I think that, I would like to go with the 120 square feet or less does not, we just have to do the plot plan and stuff to see that it's not encroaching on somebody else's property or in our right of way.
Okay.
And 20 square feet and over, that's when we do the,
Greater than 120 square.
okay,
Then you gotta put that verbiage in there.
greater than 120 square feet,
Yes.
okay.
Because basically you just say it needs both of them, and if you just say 120 square feet, so you need to say greater than 120 second.
Pole barns always require a permit. Okay, the rest of this looks good to me.
All right, so what do we need to move forward on this? Yeah.
We just need to confirm all those numbers, and then I can prepare your public notice and ordinance for the council. The public notice will need to be advertised 10 days before your plan commission public hearing.
So motion to move forward with the.
Yep, to move forward and prepare for the public hearing.
I make a motion to move forward with the numbers that were presented tonight.
I'll make a motion that we move forward with the numbers we presented tonight.
All those in favor?
I do have something else to talk about in the video now. I think we would like to take out, Dave, you don't do roofing inspections, correct?
Roofing inspections?
Yeah.
No, the only time I would do anything like that is if they have to make some kind of a repair on a truss. And I would need to verify that truss repair, with a engineered drawing and make sure they did it per the drawing.
Okay, so is it fair to say that, we can take out the permit required for roofing unless, Josh, how would I say that? You see the permit not required unless it doesn't.
Unless it requires structural.
Yeah, changing roof configuration and changing the type.
A roof tear off and replace only does not require a permit.
That's what our UDO says.
Correct.
No, it doesn't.
It says you do not need a permit if you're replacing an existing roof that does not involve reconfiguration, changing the type of roof covering, such as going from shingles to tiles, replacement of structural members, and the installation of heat applied roofing material. As long as you're meeting those criteria, you do not need a permit. Any other roof remodeling or repairs would need. So we're talking trusses, redoing your roof line, things like that.
Okay, what about in there where it says replacement of a rafter or more than 128 square feet of decking?
As long as you're not hitting that threshold, you do not need a permit.
If they were replacing more than 128 square feet of decking, Dave, would you do an inspection?
Yeah, I probably would go out there to take a look at that. Make sure they've got their plywood clips in. Yeah, I probably would, because if they've had to replace that much, they're probably going to have more to do.
Okay, Pam and I would both like to remove that clause in there of replacing the deck at more than 128 square feet of
And
decking.
when you say that's a lot of decking, that's 4 sheets of plywood.
More than 4 sheets.
Well, yeah, anything more than 4 sheets of plywood. Now, I'm just gonna throw it out.
It's exactly 4 sheets.
The things that I have seen, Danville does a decking inspection to make sure of that right there. They do that, I do know that, and I'm pretty sure Lebanon does the same thing. So, I mean, to me, if you've got 4 sheets that are being replaced, there's usually a water leak that could cause some damage somewhere else. That's me.
Well, here's my thing, if a roof does not require a permit, and let's just pretend I own a roofing company, we go out there, we tear this thing off, and I gotta replace 4.5 sheets of decking.
Thank you.
Am I gonna stop what I'm doing to come down to the town building and get a permit?
No. I think you're missing this point. I'm not saying anything about they're gonna come down here and do it. The question is gonna be is, if they didn't do it, then you have a recourse to go back on that.
For what? They're gonna cover it up.
They're just gonna go buy 5 sheets.
Nobody's ever gonna know.
They're gonna buy 5 sheets of panel and come
But
down.
that's not 100% true. I'm not looking for the houses that are here now. I'm looking for all these Cracker Jack box houses we're getting ready to build that are all trusses. When you have a issue with one of those trusses, it doesn't matter which part of that truss, you have a failure in it. That is a structural issue. So if you're replacing 4 sheets of plywood on one of those houses, that means there's probably some bigger damage on there. And when you're out in a public section like that, they're still gonna be out there doing inspections and stuff. That just gives them a reason to stop in.
Talking about the new houses? Yes.
I would
This
disagree.
is talking about the new houses.
I would
Those
disagree
could be
with your
new
analogy.
homes. They're not gonna come up for 20 years, are we?
You say that. You say that. That's not true.
I would disagree with your analogy on new development. Because just because they sheet it and roof it, he has to do the framing inspection.
Yeah, you can see.
But
And he'll be able to see it because he'll
No,
look
I'm
at
talking about when they go to replace a roof. If they've had.
Well, then that would be just like your house and her house.
Correct.
Yeah.
I'm saying you have to do it across the board, because you can't think of just now. You've got to think about the future.
You're
And
never.
I'm not saying we're not gonna catch it all. I'm not saying that at all.
I'm just telling you what I will do.
You're never gonna.
I will tell you that I am doing a tear off and replace.
I know exactly what's gonna
And
happen.
when I get to it, I'm gonna fix it.
Okay,
And-
and it's no different than you speeding and not getting caught by a cop. You can do it 99 times, and that one time you get caught, well, there's the reason why they pulled you.
What are you
And
gonna
I'm
do?
saying is, what I'm saying is we do not know what all the future is. We may have somebody that's here all the time, and that's what they're doing, is going around looking for stuff like that. That gives them the reason, the PC, to stop and look to see what they're doing, is all I'm getting at. We're not gonna catch everybody. No, we're not. I'm just saying is 90% of the roofs that get replaced here in town don't even stop and get to look to see if there is a.
That's because they have it tore off and put back on before you open your doors.
Amen. Yeah, they're not gonna stop.
But that's my
They're gonna
opinion,
get a
and
permit.
I'm not this whole commission, that's my opinion on that.
I'm not either, but I'm just pointing out facts
I understand,
of
but
the
I'm not,
construction world.
but my point of it is it gives you, or us, a reason to have to stop in and look if they're doing it.
It's
Because
a
if they
lot
are doing
of-
something, I'm looking out for that structural damage is all I'm looking for. Because let's face it, if you have to replace maybe 4 sheets of plywood on a house, that's usually means there's an issue that's.
No, it's
That's an
not.
assumption.
Maybe they-
I said usually, I didn't say 100% no, I said usually. Because if somebody's replacing 4 sheets,
Okay,
there was a leak somewhere.
so let's take some of our houses in town that are roofed with one box.
Right.
Across the rafters, it's one box.
Right.
And I'm having a roofing company come over and replace my roof, and they start tearing it off, and they realize that I got one box up there. Okay. Well, now I gotta go buy 4.5 sheets of OSB, and there's nothing wrong with my roof, it was just nailed to those one box.
Then you need a permit now, because you.
You're not replacing anything, you're adding to it. So then you're adding a structural load. Is your rafters that was put there before the correct size? Because let's face it, there's a lot of houses around here that they are not.
Oh, yeah, tons.
You know what I mean?
Tons.
So I see exactly where you're at. Again, I'm not saying we're gonna catch it all.
Well,
That's
as
not
long
the
as,
point behind it.
as on the other side of the permit process, Pam and I would like to see that part taken out.
I thought we already voted to take bullet point number 3 out. We did that.
Did we? I
Yes, we
wasn't
did.
sure.
Yeah, we did that at the last meeting. We already.
So we are taking out,
I think I made the motion.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't even know what you're talking about, Lori, because I just looked through it.
why are you arguing with me then?
I'm arguing
Didn't we
because-
vote on it, Katie? I couldn't remember. I thought Dave was gonna talk more about it and see
No,
what.
we voted to take out bullet point number 3 of this exact section.
Okay, and then, great, so we can just take out the 100, it's required if you're replacing 128 square feet of decking, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay, great. Now, on the fence part, I would like to, I don't know. For some reason, we used to have decorative fencing is not required a permit. But,
You had a discussion about a fence made out of bicycle.
right, but the little short fences that people stick in the
They're
ground.
not permanent.
Yeah, they're not.
They're not permanent. The ones that have stakes to them are not a permanent structure, there's not a hole that's dug, so we're not in a permit whatsoever.
Right, we know that, but it used to be in here, I think, as permit not required for decorative fencing. And it's not in here
Well,
anymore.
that's because you need to define what a decorative fence is, that's the reason.
Is there a
because
definition
somebody-
in here?
Because, well, the reason why it got taken out before was because it was brought up. Somebody could say, oh, okay, like going down,
It was
To
the
the
house
left.
on Elm Street.
As an
It
example.
was house on Elm Street across from Sears. Katie, I'm sorry you're not familiar, but everyone else up there is.
Right.
But they went to Walmart or wherever and bought that fence that was about as high as this chair. And they came down here and got a permit for it. And they put it off of their front porch so they could open up their door and let their dog out. And it was just one of them ones, you just take the rod and stick it down in between the two panels, and they made a little section so their dog could go out and potty. Those folks came down and got a fence permit. And then we realized what they were doing, gave them their money back. Then we put the decorative, because we asked Deb about it, and she says, is it one of them decorative fences? And I told her, it's one you get from Walmart, that you just line it up and stick the stake through it. She says, oh, that's a decorative fence, so that's why we use the word decorative.
So how could we, you know, I'm really not even worried about that. Pam wanted that put in there. But if people call and say, hey, do I need a fence permit? She has now gone to asking them, what kind of a fence is it?
Well,
I think you have to ask, because if you don't ask, they'll think, oh, my privacy fence doesn't need a permit.
so on those fences,
Okay,
I would just say,
I
if you
understand.
want the decorative in there, then put decorative, i.e. non-permanent fences.
Well, any fence could be removed. Just, I'm sorry.
Okay, so I understand what you're saying. So like I said, she has now gone to asking every time if there's a fence, or if there's somebody calls about it, what type is it? Is it, you know, one that you can go buy from Walmart and it's 2 foot tall and stick it in the ground?
Right.
And then she'll say, no, you don't need a permit for that, or whatever. So I can understand that we need to leave
They
that
do
in.
make it 3 foot, and ours has got it to where it just has its spike, it's about
Okay,
that far too.
Yeah, we're not gonna
Right.
care about that.
So just meant that, you know,
Okay, so
3 foot is not, it can be a little bit taller.
so we already did that last time, right, Katie, you said?
Yes, it's in the minutes.
Okay, great. That's all I have. I mean, that's all I have.
Stuff needed to be done.
So any new business?
Just that I would like to, have a public hearing, and I have to.
Yes, let's discuss.
Yeah, why do we want to do that?
Right, so like that, after tonight, I can get you all the permit stuff that we're changing for the new residential, and then copies of this stuff, the new pricing of our permits for the old stuff, you know, I don't know, what do you call it, accessory structures and stuff like that. And then you can, take out the 128 square feet. I don't know if you have to put that in the notice.
Well, that's gonna require a UDO amendment as
Okay,
well, so we can do that, or we can save that for another time, or when you give me those fees, I can do a quick cross-check with that table in the UDO and note where changes need to be made. I can get that advertised too if you want, but
so we have to do 2 separate
no,
advertisements?
you can do it all with one.
Okay,
She just mean you didn't have to do it in that special meeting, you could have done it whenever we do our next.
Yeah, we can do it later if need be, but I know you wanna move forward with fees, so let's worry about getting that taken care of first.
okay.
And then we can,
Change verbiage later.
No, I really would like to do the verbiage at the same time.
okay,
Okay,
Alright, so what is the earliest we can have said advertisement done and
so I need at least, I need the week before, at least before, I want to publish something.
Deb, how soon can you have what needs to be published ready?
I can have it ready within 48 hours.
Okay.
Well, it's the weekend.
I don't care,
But
give me the stuff, I have no life.
I'm just,
Oh, you do.
I'm just saying is, so if she says 48 hours, so we're talking, say,
Monday.
Tuesday, really.
Yeah.
So
Business days.
Tuesday,
So that gives you 1, 2, 3, 4.
so
5,
then
6,
I can
7,
send
8,
it
9,
in to
10.
be.
So the earliest would be the 22nd, would be 10 business days.
What day is that on?
Tuesday.
That's Tuesday, but I think we already have a meeting.
We have a meeting that day.
Budget meeting.
So you're looking at 23rd, 24th of that week.
Okay, how does that work with everybody?
I'm good.
I can't
Either
do the 24th.
No, you
Okay.
can't?
I cannot.
So the
Okay.
23rd then, that works for you?
Yes.
How about you?
Works for me.
All right, the 23rd.
Okay, so I will notice it and
Same time, 6.
6:30?
On the 23rd?
Yep.
Okay. I know I don't need to be here, but I like to at least,
zoom in.
or just make a note of what's happening,
Okay.
and so I.
Thanks.
Are you done with Dave?
Yeah, I think, yeah. 6:30, right, or 6?
Yeah.
6:30.
Is it the 23rd, right?
Yep.
Now, we don't have to have our hearing any specific amount of time away from the council hearing to approve this, correct? Like a certain amount of time is spaced?
No,
Okay.
council just can't act before the plan commission does.
Okay.
Right.
So let me see if I got the timeline right. So if we have our hearing on the 23rd, then we can take the recommendation on August 5th when the town council's next meeting is, or do we have to let it lay?
No,
Okay.
You-
That's what I want to make sure of. I just want to make sure I was clear. Okay.
sometimes that has to happen.
I've had town councils meet on the same night as the plan commission, just to boom, boom, get it knocked out.
I actually think we have done it.
Yep.
Okay. Is that it?
As far as I know, unless anybody else got anything. Motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thanks, Dave.
Thanks
Thanks,
for
Shannon.
attending, Dave, and answering our questions, and Shannon as well.
7:53.
Good night, guys. Happy 4th.
Have a good weekend.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you. Thank you.